There's this weird moment that happens when you check your bank account or your net worth app. Maybe it's Mint, maybe it's a spreadsheet you pretend not to obsess over, and you realize you're close, like uncomfortably close. 46,000, 48, 49 and some change. And suddenly, money feels louder. You start doing mental math in places you never used to, standing in line at Starbucks thinking, if I stop buying this for a few months, I could hit it faster. Lying in bed at night replaying old purchases like bad decisions in a highlight reel. That vacation, that phone upgrade, that one impulsive Amazon order that showed up in a box way bigger than the thing inside. And the funny part? From the outside, nothing about your life looks that different. You're still driving the same car, still going to the same job, still dealing with the same annoying coworkers and the same bills that hit at the worst possible time. But internally, something shifts. There's this quiet pressure, like you're standing at the edge of something important and you don't want to mess it up. I've been there. I think about this stuff way more than is probably healthy. Money, behavior, why some people build momentum and others stall out forever. My name's Evan, and honestly, I spend an embarrassing amount of time thinking about why money feels harder at certain stages, even when, on paper, you're doing better than you ever have. And crossing $50,000 is one of those stages nobody prepares you for. Because here's the lie we all kind of absorb without realizing it. Once you save a decent amount, things get easier. Less stress, more confidence, more freedom. And yeah, some of that is true, but there's another side to it, a quieter, more psychological side, one that doesn't show up in motivational posts or tidy financial advice videos. In this video, I want to talk about what actually changes when you cross $50,000. Not the math, not the spreadsheets, the experience, the weird emotions, the invisible traps, the moments where people either level up without realizing it or quietly sabotage themselves while telling everyone they're being responsible. If you're below $50,000, this will help you get there without losing your mind. If you're around it, this will probably feel uncomfortably accurate. And if you're past it, you'll recognize exactly what I'm talking about and maybe wish someone had told you sooner. So let's talk, like real people. No hype, no guru nonsense, just the stuff nobody tells you. Here's the first thing nobody tells you. Crossing $50,000 doesn't feel like a victory lap. It feels like being handed something fragile and being told, okay, don't drop this. Before that number, saving feels scrappy. You're climbing. Every thousand feels earned. You celebrate small milestones, 10,000, 20, 30. Each one feels like proof you're doing something right. But somewhere near $50,000, the emotion flips. Instead of excitement, you feel pressure, because now there's something to lose. I remember the first time I crossed that line. I thought I'd feel proud, maybe a little smug, like, wow, I'm finally one of those people who has savings. But what I actually felt was tension, a weird low-level anxiety. Like I just stacked something valuable on a shelf, and now I was scared someone or something was going to knock it over. You start thinking about risk differently. Market downturns feel personal. Big purchases feel heavier. Even small mistakes feel amplified. Because now you're not just messing up this month, you're messing with progress. And here's why this matters. A lot of people stall out here because they confuse caution with paralysis. They stop taking smart risks. They stop investing in themselves. They sit on cash not because it's strategic, but because they're afraid of going backward. And fear disguised as being careful can quietly freeze you in place. The takeaway? Respect the money, but don't worship it. $50,000 is a foundation, not a museum piece. It's meant to support movement, not stop it. This one hits hard, especially if you're online a lot. Crossing $50,000 doesn't make comparison go away. It actually makes it worse. Because now you're not comparing yourself to people who are clearly behind. You're comparing yourself to people who are ahead. The ones posting about 6 figures saved. The ones casually mentioning my investments. The ones who make it seem like $50,000 is cute. You start doing this dangerous thing where you erase your own progress. You forget where you started. You forget how long it took. You forget the learning curve, the mistakes, the months where saving anything felt impossible. And instead, you focus on the imaginary version of you who should be at $100,000 by now. That voice gets loud. If I were smarter, if I had started earlier, if I didn't mess up in my 20s. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This mindset doesn't disappear at higher numbers. It just moves the goalpost. I've talked to people with $200,000 saved who feel behind. I've talked to people with 7 figures who still feel like they're late. The issue isn't the number, it's the story you tell yourself about what the number means. Actionable advice? Start anchoring your confidence to behavior, not milestones. Did you build a system that works? Are you consistent? Do you recover quickly from mistakes? That matters more than the number on the screen, because numbers without perspective will never feel like enough. This is where things get sneaky. When you're broke, lifestyle inflation is obvious. You can't afford it, so you don't do it. Easy. When you cross $50,000, lifestyle upgrades start to feel reasonable. A nicer apartment, a better car, slightly more expensive vacations. Quality of life purchases that are all individually defensible, and that's the danger. None of them feel irresponsible on their own, but stacked together, they can quietly eat your momentum. I've seen this happen so many times. Someone works hard, saves aggressively, hits $50,000, and then slowly loosens the discipline that got them there. Not recklessly, just enough to stall. They still save, just not as much. They still invest, just not consistently. They still care, just not urgently. And a year later, they're wondering why nothing's changed. Here's the rule that actually works. Upgrade intentionally, not automatically. Decide in advance what your yes upgrades are and protect your savings rate like it's non-negotiable. Because the habits that got you to $50,000 are the same ones that get you to $500,000. The only difference is discipline at higher stakes. Here's a positive shift people don't talk about enough. At $50,000, emergencies stop feeling catastrophic. They're still annoying, still inconvenient, but they're not existential. A car repair doesn't wreck your month. A medical bill doesn't trigger panic. This changes how you show up in life. You're calmer, less reactive. You make better decisions because you're not operating from fear. And this calm, it compounds. People underestimate how much financial stability improves decision-making in every area of life: work, relationships, health. You're not scrambling, so you can think. The key takeaway: protect this buffer at all costs. Don't let lifestyle creep turn peace into pressure again. This realization hits quietly. You start noticing that money doesn't just buy things, it buys options. The option to leave a bad job, to say no, to slow down, to choose differently. And that's when priorities shift. You care less about impressing people, more about flexibility, more about time, more about control. This is where smarter decisions start happening, not because you're richer, but because you're clearer. Lean into that. Optimize for freedom, not flash. A lot of people get stuck at $50,000 and think they need better tactics, more side hustles, more hacks, more optimization. But usually, the plateau isn't tactical, it's mental. Fear of risk, fear of loss, fear of admitting you want more. Breaking through requires redefining what growth looks like. It might mean investing more aggressively, asking for more money, building skills instead of hoarding cash. The move forward is rarely comfortable, but it's intentional. Crossing $50,000 isn't about winning. It's about entering a new phase. A phase where money stops being chaos and starts being strategy. Where decisions matter more than effort. Where patience beats intensity. If you're here or getting close, don't rush it. Don't compare it away. Don't let fear freeze you. This is the stage where real wealth gets built. Quietly, boringly, consistently. And if nobody's told you that yet, now you know. Keep going.